we're going to calculate consumer surplus. So this would be this triangle here, under the demand curve but above the price. So what is consumer surplus and who cares? How would you describe consumer surplus? Remember it from 111 to 101, 1 whatever?
It's how much of a deal I'm getting.
Yeah, basically it's how much of a deal you're getting. If we organized everybody on the demand curve, what else did we call this curve? You can think of it in terms of willingness to pay, right? If you have, let's say we take an individual, and you've got one person, or one quantity here, quantity of one. What's the willingness to pay for that? Somebody out there is probably willing to pay a lot, right? So let's say this is $10. Let's say this is Coke or something, I don't know. I can't think of it. So for one bottle of Coke, there's probably some Coke maniac out there who's willing to pay $10, or somebody who's super thirsty. I don't know. If we line these up for the second one, there's probably somebody willing to pay $8. And we can go all the way along, you know, $7.50, blah, blah, blah. So in this case, if we look at the first purchase, this person was willing to pay $10, but only had to pay $5. This amount here, this is actually $5 worth of value that you can stick back in your pocket. You ever go to the store, you're going to buy something and find out it's on sale? Even better, right? You go to the store to get something, you're willing to part with $50. They're going to buy a, I don't know, DVR. So you're going to part with $300 for a DVR, and they're on sale for $250. Your willingness to pay was $300. What you did pay was $250. So this amount was what you're willing to pay, but you didn't have to pay, so that is value. And if we do that for the whole market, we look at the demand, and we add up all the willingness to pay that people got to keep, that's what we call consumer surplus. So that's the reason we purchase stuff. We get value above and beyond what we have to pay for things. It's also the reason that we stop at Q stars. What about a product right here? Let's say the price is $5, every face is the same price, but the willingness to pay is $4. Somebody going to buy it? No. They're not willing to pay the price. So in the market, nothing happens beyond this. Okay? So when we add total revenue, the amount paid, plus the consumer surplus, the good feeling, we get total value. So this would be the total value of products consumed up to point Q star. And like this isn't rocket science either, and it's another one of those who cares situations. So let's look at that for a second. Okay, we're going to talk about resources and environment. And amenities and services. Do you consume things, environmental goods, that you don't actually have to pay for? Do you guys go to the lake, go hiking or whatever, places that you don't have to pay? Yeah? Okay, so let's say, give me an example. What about canoeing or, I don't know, what do you guys do in terms of resources? You want to share? You might actually have to sit up here and there. Okay. What is that? So this is the demand curve. Here's quantity. Here's price. And we're going to the price is zero. What could this be a pseudo market for that you consume that you don't actually have to pay for, but you enjoy?
Oxygen.
Oxygen. Let's think of something that you actually use voluntarily rather than involuntarily. You lost some trail, okay? Okay, so you don't have to pay for the Mewassen Trail. You go down there, you ride your bike, you rollerblade, you do whatever. And there are a certain number of users. We know that the price is zero, so we can put the price here. What can we say? Does this mean the value of the trail is zero? What's the value of the trail then? Yeah, exactly. The whole value, in this case, is consumer surplus. There's people that would be willing to pay to use the trail. Maybe they pay user fee or something. And we could arrange these in terms of decreasing willingness to pay. So in this case, total value equals the consumer surplus because total revenue equals zero. Right? You don't have to pay, so this amount goes away. And the supply is actually, well, there's only one trail, so you can put the supply up there. So this, with the price of zero, is an important thing to think about in terms of the environment, because a lot of the things we use in the environment don't cost anything. You can go fishing, you can use lakes, you can go use the forest for hiking or whatever. So when the price is zero, and we have a certain supply, how do we know whether to allocate more resources or spend money to improve these particular amenities or resources? We know that there is a value for that, but we don't know what the value is. We don't know what the marginal value is. So how does the public sector provide these services? And what we'll talk about in the next few weeks is estimating this value, this consumer surplus. We don't have a problem when we're talking about milk and cheese and grain and cars and stuff, because people make decisions and the price is able to fluctuate to moderate the quantity sold and what's going on in the market. But we have a tremendous number of resources that we don't pay for. And then we get a picture like this. How do we manage them? What's their value? Should we spend public money to improve those resources or maintain them? Can you think of any resources that we're having problems with right now?